Hello, how are you? Our topic today is cost object, module 2A. So we have another set of module for the cost object. So let's start. So what will be the topic here? So the topic will be the direct and indirect costs, the methods of tracing, the tangible products and services, the intangibility, perishability, and inseparability cost. Then we have the production and non-production, direct materials and the direct labor, prime and conversion cost, cost of goods manufactured, work in process, and cost of goods sold. So what are those? So let's start with our topic. So when you see cost object, it includes product, departments, projects, customers, etc. The costs are measured on these and assigned. So a cost object can also be an activity. So for instance, in determining the cost to manufacture a bicycle, the cost object is the bicycle. So let's start with the direct and indirect costs. So when you say direct cost, can be traced easily and accurately to a cost object. Indirect costs are those costs that cannot be traced easily and accurately to a cost object. So methods of tracing. So we have direct tracing is the process of assigning costs to a cost object that is physically associated. So for example, the materials used in manufacturing a pair of blue jeans are physically observable. Denim, zipper, buttons, and threads. So that they are the direct tracing. So driver tracing. So driver tracing uses drivers to assign cost to cost object. For instance, if you want to know the amount of electricity used to run sewing machine, you need a meter to measure the consumption. But this is not possible. So, thus, a driver like machine hours could be used to assign the cost of electricity. Tangible products and services. So, tangible products are created by using labor, plant, land, and machinery. The raw materials are converted into finished goods. So, example, tangible products are vehicles, television, clothes. So, those are the few examples. So, when you say services, services are the activities performed by a customer using a company products or facilities. Example, using the insurance coverage, the medical care, the dental care are the few examples. Intangibility, perishability, and inseparability. So we have first the intangibility. So when you say intangibility, it means the buyers of services cannot see, feel, hear, or taste a service before it is bought. A perishability refers to the services that cannot be stored. When we say inseparability, it means the provider and buyers of services should be in direct contact. So, production and non-production. So, when you say production costs, they are the costs involved in the manufacturing of goods or provision of the services. So, example of product costs are the direct materials, direct labor, and factory overhead. Non-production costs, so those are non-associated with the research and development, selling, and admin expense. In other words, they are the operating expenses. So here are the example of production or manufacturing costs. So we have direct material, direct labor, and overhead. So direct material and direct labor are what we know as the prime costs, while direct labor and overhead is what we know as the conversion costs. So, non-production or operating costs are the research and development expense, the marketing expense, the administrative expenses. When you add the production or manufacturing costs and the non-production or operating costs, it means total manufacturing costs. Next is we have the direct materials and direct labor. So when you say direct materials, they are those costs which can be directly traced to a product or services produced. the costs associated with these materials can be directly charged because physical observation can be used. A direct labor, can be directly traced to the goods or services being produced. So these employees convert raw materials to finished products or provide services to customers. So we have the prime and conversion costs. A prime cost is when direct materials are added to direct labor, we arrive at the prime cost. Then the conversion costs are obtained by adding the cost of direct labor and overhead costs. Then we have the cost of goods manufactured. So a cost of goods manufactured refers to the total expenditure incurred on manufacturing of goods completed during a particular period. So the only costs assigned to goods manufactured are the cost of direct materials, direct labor, and overhead. Then we have the work in process. So it consists of goods that are semi-finished. So they are still under production at a given point of time. So beginning work in progress or work in process consists of partially completed products at the beginning of the period, and ending work in process consists of those semi-finished goods at the period's end. So cost of goods sold should be computed after the cost of goods manufactured is known. The cost of goods may not be equal to the cost of goods manufactured. The cost of goods sold should be treated as an expense. So this is the end of our cost subject part 1. So we have another part for you to understand what are the costs or what are the different cost objects. Again, this is Thinktank like this. Thank you and bye-bye.